In this video, I want to teach you how to use the dirt bike brakes. What's up, Rad family? I'm Dakota Freeman, and welcome to the Rad Adventure Dude channel. It's going to be so important that when we want to master our dirt bike riding, that we first learn how to master our dirt bike brakes. On our dirt bikes, we're going to have two brakes, a front brake and a rear brake. And at the end of this video, I'm going to teach you how to use your gears as another dirt bike brake as well. So let's first learn about our front brake. Our front brake is actually how we stop the bike in the fastest way possible. Our front brake is going to be a little aggressive when we first learn how to ride. However, when we want to become a better dirt bike rider, we're really going to have to master using our front brake. Once we develop good braking skills, we're going to use our front brake 90% of the time, and we will only use our rear brake 10%. This is because we use our front brake so much when we're stopping the bike coming into corners, and we really only use the rear brake to assist the front brake, and I'll show you a couple other techniques we can use the rear brake for as well. When we're using our front brake, we're going to want to learn how to use our front brake very cautiously. Get comfortable using the front brake lever and know where it really starts to engage with the bike, and don't really squeeze the brake lever too much, as it'll really lock up the front brake and that'll put you on the ground. So we really want to make sure that when we're learning how to use our front brake, that we learn slowly and find the point where it really starts to engage, and then around that point where you're at on the lever is where you're really going to want to stay when you're using your front brake. If you squeeze the lever too much more, it's really going to want to lock up the wheel, and if you don't squeeze it to that point, then your front brake might not even be engaging. When we're using our front brake, we really want to focus with our riding position to stay a little bit farther back on the dirt bike. This is because when we use our front brake in an aggressive way like this, it's going to want to pick up the back of the dirt bike and kind of do a stoppie. And we really don't want this to happen, so we want to get our weight a little bit further back, and then once we get into the corner or whatever we're stopping for, we can get our body position where we need it to be at that point. But while we're applying our front brake very heavily like this, make sure that you get your weight a little further back. And when we're really wanting to stop the bike in the fastest way possible, we're going to want to use our front brake combined with our rear brake. Our rear brake is going to be the lever located by our right foot. We press that down to engage our back brake. The back brake is a great brake to use with the front brake. However, it's not going to be the only brake that we use when we're out on the tracks and trails. It's great to use the back brake when we're going down hills, or even if we're in a left-hand corner, we can still use our back brake. We can also use our back brake if we want to slide the dirt bike around any sort of sharp corner. And whenever we want to stop the bike in the fastest way, we're going to have to combine the back brake with the front brake to really maximize our stopping power on our dirt bikes. And no matter which brake it is, if it's the front brake or the rear brake, when we're putting on our brakes like this, the bike's naturally going to want to push our weight forward. So to anticipate that, we need to get our weight a little further back. This is also going to help keep our rear wheel on the ground, and it's going to give our tires more traction when we're trying to stop the dirt bike. Even when we're braking, we want to focus on standing up in the attack position. Standing up while we're braking is a huge deal, because if we're hitting any brakey bumps or anything rough out on the tracks and trails as we're braking, standing up in this attack position just assures that we have the best control over the handlebars and that we're riding as smooth as we can, which is really going to give us more flow and make us better dirt bike riders. So when we really want to master our braking, adding in the correct riding position on top of our brakes is really how we're going to learn how to use our brakes in the best possible way. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, make sure you hit that and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future dirt bike riding tips. Now that we know how to use our front brake and our rear brake, let's learn how to use our gears combined with our brakes to truly stop the bike in the best way possible. Well, when we're trying to stop on our dirt bike and we're using our brakes, it's going to be important that we actually add in our gear shifting to our brakes as well. As you're going down a straightaway and you shift down in the gears, it's going to bring the RPMs up, and this is going to actually engage a engine brake, and this is going to help you slow down as well. When we are using our gears like this, we want to make sure that we're using our controls properly, and you always let the throttle off before you pull in the clutch and shift down. As soon as you shift down, you're going to want to let the clutch out to let the gears react with the bike. Once you let the clutch out after shifting down, you're going to feel the bike want to throw you forward. As you get your weight further back and anticipate the bike throwing you forward, it's going to give your wheels better traction, and you're not going to be fighting the dirt bike as much. So when you do let the clutch out after shifting down, you're going to feel the engine brake really take over and really start slowing you down. You're going to hear the RPMs get high, and that's okay as we're using the engine this way to slow us down. Once we have learned how to do this and we're combining it with our front brake being heavily used and our rear brake being used at the same time, we can shorten the distance that we have to brake, and this is how we brake in the fastest way possible. So learning how to use your gears in this kind of way, combined with our front brake and our rear brake, this is going to be such an important part of learning how to use our dirt bike brakes in the best way possible. A drill I want to go over for you to practice your dirt bike braking is going to be use 2 cones and set them up in a line. You're going to want to accelerate towards the first cone, and then as you reach the cone, you're going to want to let off the throttle and begin to use your brakes. And try to brake before you reach the second cone. And what you're going to want to do to actually increase your braking skills is to move these 2 cones closer and closer together to show you how you're actually improving on your braking skills. So make sure whenever you're really wanting to learn how to brake in the fastest way possible and you've learned how to use your gears combined with the front brake and the rear brake, set up a couple cones and be able to show yourself that you are truly stopping much faster on your dirt bikes. So did this video help you with using your dirt bike brakes? Make sure you like this video and drop some comments down below and ask me any other questions that you have. If you're still looking for more dirt bike riding tips, I'm always here. I've got a full dirt bike course over on my website that's going to walk you through being a complete beginner and take you to an advanced rider mastering the tracks and trails. I also give away a free dirt bike guide on my website as well. All you have to do is sign up for my newsletter and I'll send it right to you. Make sure you click the subscribe button that's right here and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future dirt bike riding tips. After that, you can watch my next video right here. Stay rad, and I'll see you over there.